once you're living in alignment, that's when you access the flow state. So I start talking about flow. Why are you still doing this? But I didn't know what it was that I wanted, how to get, let alone how to get there.
The flow state is a beautiful thing. Athletes get into the flow state. Writers get into the flow state. I would imagine artists, musicians get into that flow state. Sometimes podcasters like Brian get into a flow state and he just absolutely rips and I just sit back and let him go. How you do one thing is an indication of how you do everything, right?
Right. So
You just stole that. I was going there. Give me some.
Sorry, see what's happening?
No, but it's true. Like, most people could understand, because I think once you get beyond that, it's a feeling. It's something that you have to sense, feel.
Yeah.
You've got to be a part of it. If you could leave somebody with two pieces of information, two things that they could start, not tomorrow, today, tonight, the minute they listen to this podcast, what would you tell them?
So I would say,
Well, we are back. This is the Breaking Barriers podcast powered by S.O.A.R. I'm here once again, and again, my name is John Morris. I'm here with the one and only Brian P. Swift. This is the Quad Father. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic. Couldn't be better. I'm excited to share our guest, Carolyn Litton's vision and her vision project. So it is very important.
Look at you doing the setup. That's amazing.
Just thought I would roll with it.
You did roll with it, and you're right, you are great.
I am amped up. I am ready to go.
You are so amped up.
Make it roll, John.
Very proud of you. All right, Carolyn, you got to tell us all about what's going on. I've had a chance to sit down at one of your speaking engagements. It was moving, it was touching, it was powerful. I got a ton out of it. In fact, I was so compelled that I stood up, and I think you went through the audience, and I said that I will have a top 5% podcast. I believe that you were the speaker.
Yes, that was part of
and
your
you were
vision.
talking about visualization and abundance and all these different things. So really, really amazing, and you made it very simple to understand. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing and what the big vision is. I mean, everyone wants to know.
oh, sounds great. Thank you so much. And yes, I definitely remember you standing up and sharing that vision and how amazing, like that's how everything starts. And
right?
Look at the reality that you created.
Got to see it first.
It starts with your vision, with your aligned vision of your, I believe it starts with alignment with your true authentic self. So basically the Vision Project was created based on habits that changed my own life, that really helped me connect with who I was deep down inside and turn that vision into reality. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are very, high achievers and are very into their career, and you kind of forget what it's like to dream. And at some point, my career became my identity.
You nestled in.
Right? Yes. It was, yeah.
And I think COVID stopped people from dreaming. I think COVID had one of its horrible effects was people stopped dreaming.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we ever got back to that point where we dream and then chase that dream down.
I don't know, because I had COVID, and some of the dreams I was seeing dinosaurs walking through my family room, so I don't know. But yeah, you're probably right. I was not exactly like, hey, I'm going to take on the world. So you're right. We were all put in our place.
We were. And who, just think about it, in our lives tells you to dream? Is there anybody out there really, whether you're a business owner or just starting to be an entrepreneur or even want to change careers, who tells you, what are you dreaming about? Who asks you about your dreams?
Right? I feel like that's not common, and people don't connecting with your imagination and really, I feel like in society it's viewed as like that's not practical. Like you can dream, but it's too risky and it's not going to happen. And there's so many things against you, and if that's what you focus on, then that's what you'll get. But really, I mean, imagination.
And to your point,
beautiful.
Not a lot of people see themselves breaking the barriers.
Right.
That it takes
to
chase their dream down. It's like, that's too far out there. That can't happen. Or I've been told this. It can happen. I can't see myself breaking those barriers. So in your chase for your dream, what are a couple of the barriers you broke that really stood in your way from where you're at now?
Oh, thank you. That's a great question too. So I think one of the things, one of the barriers is let's face it, when you have a big, huge dream and an audacious goal, you're not going to know the how. That I mean, that's a fact.
We
right?
get stuck on that how.
We think we know, and we may have a plan on the how. And as we know, like life never works out perfectly, right? So we can have that plan, and then when the plan doesn't work, then what? So that's where I found my habits to be so supportive, to help me A, stay connected with my vision, B, this is what the vision project is, vision, ground, grow. So A, stay connected with your vision, B, find a way to ground yourself, ground your nervous system for when you do have challenges, because it inevitably will happen. So finding a way to like regulate your nervous system, and I'm always growing. That's grow, the last component. So keep learning, growing with a community, keep learning new things, and you will figure out how to overcome that obstacle. And at that point, you're an expanded version of yourself who's ready to take that next step, and that next step will be revealed.
I love this. Okay, so here's the deal. We know that you didn't just wake up one morning and have an epiphany. Something in your life happened. You had some sort of adversity that you faced, and maybe you dealt with it in this different way. And along the way, you kept having these realizations. So walk us through, what was the moment that just kind of shook you and you're like, oh, there it is? Or was it
that aha moment?
Yeah, the aha. Or was it an accumulation of moments?
Mine was like a silent poking. It's, you know, when you know you're meant for something more and you have something poking at you.
I do know
like,
that.
It just got like louder and louder and louder. I've shared, I think before, like, you know, the universe will first tickle you with a feather. If you don't respond, it'll hit you with a brick. If you still don't respond, it'll run you over with a truck. And that was like, it was just that persistent feeling that got stronger and stronger. And I remember at one point looking myself in the mirror saying like, why are you still here? Why are you still doing this? But I didn't know what it was that I wanted, or how to get, let alone how to get there. And again, it all came with changing my habits. That's when everything changed. My habits started changing me.
And I think COVID stopped people from dreaming. I think COVID had one of its horrible effects was people stopped dreaming.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we ever got back to that point where we dream and then chase that. It seemed to always be the brick part.
In all seriousness,
Once you have clarity of what you want your entire life to look like your subconscious mind knows that, and it creates this lightness. Because if there's any area of your life that's an important area, like health, relationships, career, finance, that's not working, even if you can't articulate that and you don't know that, your subconscious knows that.
Oh my gosh.
So you focus on the vision, and as things come up, approach it with curiosity. Like, oh, what's this? Instead of it being bad, like, hey, what's this trying to tell me? And then you work with it then. But then again, go back to what's my end goal. Oh, man. Yeah, so I basically left my career in the mortgage industry to start all over as I didn't even know how I was going to do it. I just wanted to share the vision project with the world.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'll write a book or start speaking, or like, I'll figure it out. But I just had such conviction that this was my purpose once I realized what that was. And I'm like, I will figure that out.
And if you never left, you'd never be where you're at today.
Oh, goodness, no.
So I'd
be a different person. Yeah,
Who leaves leaving a job is not easy to do.
A career
you know what,
20 plus years.
I will tell you, the Rainmakers.
But the best thing is, they would say out of anything, they like how they feel. They they feel like they're living life, and they're happy, and they're connected with their families, and it's such a beautiful way to live. And that's the other cool thing about our retreats. Yes, we do this work, we connect with ourselves and have that open space, but we're traveling the world, so we're going to have fun too. So our retreats are really, curated to, go deep, connect with yourself, and have fun, because that's a part of life.
Absolutely.
And you have to work on it. It's not something you're born with, I don't believe. There might be some people that are better at certain things, but it is something you work on. Something, as you brought up, Carolyn, you have to be present. You have to be self-aware. You have to do self-reflection. It is something you work on to keep that light
coming there.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about
Huge.
that, because nobody really achieves anything great in their life on their own.
100% without support, and I'm so grateful. My husband, Rick, has been amazing. He's my biggest cheerleader.
He's a
And
snappy dresser too. The past is depressing. The future is anxiety.
Right.
And the best place to live is right in the present.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Go for a walk. Take some time in stillness. Listen, like do something to really connect with what that is.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, you're just detached. We'll figure it out. Well, I mean, going from 2 incomes to 1 income, I mean, that's a big lifestyle, right? When you're used to that for 20 plus years, I'm like, I don't know what this is going to look like. And he's like, we'll figure it out, and had that much confidence in me and supports me so much. And
well,
I'm
that's
so
absolutely
grateful.
fantastic. Brian and I obviously want to know all about how you break barriers, and that's extremely important. But we got to know about what this vision project is, and like how are.
That's why I used to say be less when you see somebody with a disability, be less judgmental and be more curious.
Yeah.
Be more curious about people and less judgmental about people. And you would be amazed at how our world will open up.
I think we know, and we may have a plan on the how, and as we know, like life never works out perfectly, right? So we can have that plan, and then when the plan doesn't work, then what? So that's where I found my habits to be so supportive, to help me, A, stay connected with my vision, B, this is what the vision project is, vision, ground, grow. So A, stay connected with your vision. B, find a way to ground yourself, ground your nervous system for when you do have challenges, because it inevitably will happen. So finding a way to like regulate your nervous system, and I'm always growing. That's grow, the last component. So keep learning, growing with a community, keep learning new things, and you will figure out how to overcome that obstacle. And at that point, you're an expanded version of yourself who's ready to take that next step, and that next step will be revealed.
We're less
Right.
worried about the why and more worried about getting there. And don't worry about where there is, because we're not
there
sure.
might go there, and then there it's not
Right.
linear.
But they know that's
And
an
it's never
uncomfort.
linear. The journey is never linear. I haven't
Never.
met anyone who like got to where they wanted to be to say, yep, it was a perfectly linear path.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, again, as I connected with my authentic vision, I didn't know it at the time, but that's alignment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my goodness. So once you're living in alignment, that's when you access the flow state. So I start talking about flow.
So the flow state is a beautiful thing. Athletes get into the flow state. Writers get into the
zone.
flow state. I would
Artists.
imagine artists, musicians get
Yep.
into that flow state. Sometimes podcasters like Brian get into a flow state, and he just absolutely rips, and I just sit back and let him go.
Right.
But flow state is a beautiful thing. What are some exercises that people could do
Sure.
that you're teaching, that you practice?
Sure. And
that-
it's the methodology of the Vision Project. Again, it's vision, ground, grow. That's how to get in flow. And I think a lot of people either A, don't know what the flow state is. It's an actual state of being, scientifically state of being, backed by like that's been proven. We are most capable, creative, and connected selves. So it's like life flows through you. You're so connected. It's you're out of your headspace.
It's like you
into your
tap
heart
into that.
space.
What do they call it? The Akashic record? It's like
yeah,
you're tapping into
infinite
that.
intelligence,
Yeah.
all their, I mean,
See, I'm
the
well-read.
field, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like everything is available to you. You can actually connect with it, and hear it.
It's like a constant honeymoon.
Yeah.
It's like being in a honeymoon
it's like
state.
euphoric. It's like time stands
It is.
still. I mean, yeah.
Well,
it
that's the
makes
way
you
it was when
get
I
to-
met my
so
wife.
focused.
Do you get?
So
Yeah, it's almost like
clarity.
it's almost like you're in hypnotic state. It gets
Yes,
real
it can
quiet.
feel
that
like that
Kashi
too.
Go thing you were
So there was a
talking about.
movie with Kevin Costner, and he was a pitcher.
Okay.
And when he would get into flow state, like the whole stadium would go quiet, and it was just him talking. Like, here, we're gonna throw a pitch in the
Super
outside.
connected.
Just boom, just connected to what he was doing.
100%.
So you're helping people to get
Access
into that.
that,
And
yes.
who are these people? Are these business leaders? Are these everyday folks that just could sign up? Are you doing this for a corporation?
Sure,
Like, what
sure.
a great exercise for a corporation to do for their sales team.
Right. Absolutely.
Because the
It's
stress of a
slow down
salesperson-
to speed up. I mean, you change once you have clarity of what you want your entire life to look like your subconscious mind knows that, and it creates this lightness. Because if there's any area of your life that's an important area, like health, relationships,
Mm-hmm.
career, finance, that's not working, even if you can't articulate that and you don't know that, your subconscious knows that.
Oh my gosh.
So you go through your day, there's this, it's like you're carrying this
Just
heavy,
so
invisible
off.
weight. But think about it, and that's what stops the flow state. You don't have the clarity, you don't have the focus. But when you really take some time to connect with that and what that is, like, you start flowing throughout your day. You start living differently.
So there might be some people that are watching this that go, hey, Carolyn, I want to do this, but like, why do I have to go international on a retreat? Why can't I just do this? But I don't know what your beliefs are faith-wise, but Jesus couldn't perform miracles in his hometown. So so all the genius and all the beauty and all the miracles he did, he had to go venture out to do that. Okay, so I feel like, and it connected with me when you said that, you almost have to get out of the everyday hustle bustle, the rigmarole, if that's a word. I can't spell it, but I'm sure it is.
Rigmarole.
Is it rigmarole?
I believe so.
I'm not. I mean,
rigmarole.
I have like a 190 IQ. I don't know if that's good or not, but so yeah,
193.
But I think it's brilliant that you get people away.
Thank you.
And so how has that been, kind of accepted? Because I would imagine it's like, hey, a vacation that is life-changing.
Oh, my gosh, right. And, Bali's halfway across the world. But, correct.
I thought it was in Iowa. Well, all right. Fair enough. Different Bali.
Further south.
But I will say, though, okay, so obviously, it's time is never the issue. It's whether you make it a priority or not, right? So it's like, for those who prioritized it, again, amazing. And even if that's not the time for you right now, you still can make little changes in your life to experience it. So like, even part of the Vision Project is, getting out in nature and going for walks. That, for someone who doesn't get outside at all and doesn't connect with nature, that's a little change that could be made to like help you, again, get connected.
Segue, that grounding part you talked about is exactly what S.O.A.R does. Because people who, and I lived it, I've lived it for 40 years. People who lose the ability, whether that's physically or mentally, that desire, drive to get outside, they are not able to get grounded. And you don't have to go out of the country to experience what you provide, but you do have to get out of your routine and far enough away.
Yes.
And that's what
you need a pattern interrupt.
A pattern interruption.
Absolutely.
Change your habits. And when you change your habits, obviously Vision Ground Grow is my methodology, my framework, but your habits will change you. You get into that flow state, you get inspiration, and then from that inspiration, you take inspired action, and it's not forced. It's just because you're connected with your authentic self.
You just start to become what you visualize.
To become it, right.
So what does your house look like? Are there sticky notes all over? Are there vision boards? Are we habit stacking? It's like I can't flip up the laptop until I do 12 push-ups.
Is Rick a mess? Does he leave his clothes all over?
Because I got to tell you, habits, man, I can form some bad ones quick, baby. But I'm telling you, breaking the habits is tough. Talk about breaking a barrier. Breaking habits is tough.
Yeah.
So what are some helpful things that you would suggest to the everyday Joe or John that might want to get into the vibe you're talking about and needs it 24 hours? Because you're not going to be there holding my hand all the time.
Right.
I got to be able to be a big boy and do these things. You can lead me to water. You can't make me drink. And you're not babysitting here, right?
Yep.
So
visualization is the Vision Project is so important. So even if it's sticky notes, and yes, I have so many positive words and statements that support me, or that I created of what I want. So I'm always very attention focused on the vision, right? So I'm not focused on what's not working, no. Where your attention goes, the energy flows. So I have certain affirmations, and I'm big on vision boards. That's what the vision. That's the foundation.
I love what you just said.
So I have
where your attention goes, energy flows.
And so often we think what's not working? How can I fix this? And it's no. Focus on the vision, and as things come up, approach it with curiosity. What's this? Instead of it being bad, hey, what's this trying to tell me? And then you work with it then. But then again, go back to what's my end goal? What's my vision?
So what you're saying is
put the energy there.
Yes, and if Rick messes the house up and dresses funny, but he envisions a clean house, that you're okay with it.
We're very neat.
Did I get that one for you all right?
She
We
visualized a neat house, and it
But I
happened.
know, and it's probably because, like, again, I know how important your environment is.
100.
Like, I can't
take
work.
clutter.
I can't work with a clutter, and
No.
you know, yeah.
Like
it
they say, if you don't
my
do-
mind feels cluttered. If my house feels cluttered.
How you
so-
do one thing is an indication of how you do everything, right?
Right. So
You just stole that. I was going there. Give me some.
Sorry, see what's
Give
happening?
me some. No, but it's true. Like
We vibing, baby.
Like they said, if you don't do it in practice, you won't do it for in the game. I cannot be messy
Right.
in my home life and not messy in my work life.
Right.
I cannot be, scattered in one area of my life and unscattered
Right.
in another.
It stays
Talk
with
about
you.
like just putting the two polar opposites of a live wire together. It doesn't work. It'll short out.
So it'd be even better if we had one of your students, if you will,
yeah.
sitting in here to be like, "Oh my gosh, it was the greatest thing ever." But we don't have that. But we'll work a way to get maybe some B-roll we'll throw in there. But give us a good story where somebody came in. Maybe they were skeptical. Sometimes the most skeptical person in the room.
sure.
It's like if you go to prison, you punch the biggest guy in the prison. Brian knows about that from all the prison stays he's had. But you
And
punch
I
the
punch
biggest
him low.
inmate, and you're going to get crushed, but no one else is going to mess with you. It would kind of be the same thing. I would imagine you can identify the person that might be the challenge, and they become the best conversion, the best
Okay.
referral. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Oh man, which story do I want to share? I think I'll share. Actually, I had a couple. Actually, this is cool. I had two very similar situations where they both actually came, really trying to deepen a relationship with their children. And actually, because that's the thing, when you get into flow, everything elevates. So they both ended up. This one particular, she 3x'd her income. 3x. So she wasn't meeting her goals. But if you think about it, if the relationships are suffering, and that's the
It's a weight.
heaviness, right? You work on that. You have your vision for what that looks like, and then now you have that lightness. So you're more focused, you're more energized, and your way of being is different. So you show up differently at work. Her income increased, and that was amazing. I mean, I've helped people like 3x, 6x their income, change their relationships. And the other cool thing is because like energy transfers. So not only did they change, people in their household
And their peers at work.
started acting and showing up differently.
Yeah.
But the best thing is they would say out of anything, they like how they feel. They how they feel like they're living life.
All right, so
Again.
sales managers, directors of sales, CEOs. You know what would be a great president's club instead of going to Cancun, getting everyone hammered so that they have to talk to HR when they get back? Instead, how about you set them on one of these trips and
to a
you make them,
castle.
you get them, or a castle. Let's get them light. Let's get them clear.
Yeah.
If they've got the right
They're
energy
gonna-
that transfers to clients,
Yes,
that lights it up. So
100%.
imagine getting 30 salespeople and their spouses for
Oh
a
my
president's
gosh.
club to go through this type of a process.
Yes.
Your brand will, if they're 6xing their income, what does
Yes.
that do if 30 people at scale do it for a brand?
And they're happy and they're connected with their families. And it's such a beautiful way to live. And that's the other cool thing about our retreats. Yes, we do this work. We connect with ourselves and have that open space, but we're traveling the world. So we're going to have fun too. So our retreats are
Yeah.
really, curated to, go deep, connect with yourself and have fun because that's a part of life.
Absolutely.
Carolyn, let me ask you, did you see or did your students see any health benefit? What did it do to their health?
Oh, love that too. Yes. I would say, we had, because again, this is transformation work. So when you go through a transformation, your identity changes. So you show up differently, you make different choices, and you act differently. So people started, naturally eating healthy. I did a segment on like the blue zone. So people started changing their eating habits,
Yeah.
drinking more water.
That's why Rick
So
looks so good.
Absolutely.
Right, and
On the
I
Vision
know
Project.
the same way, like Rick, when I put my glasses down, my wife calls me Clark, but when I take them off, she calls me something else. It's just that change, that little change of glasses to no glasses. You know what? They're not accessible. I have tried. They're really horrible to get into.
So what I love about this is this aligns so well with the message that Brian has and that we have with this podcast about breaking barriers because there's 61 million people in the United States that have a physical disability. But there's 400 million people in the United States that have some sort of mental blockage, some sort of soul blockage, some sort of heart blockage. You can see it just based on how society interacts right now. How in the world can 400 million people have two parties, and the two parties can't agree with anything, and you can't be in one party and agree with part of the other party? I mean, none of this makes sense. So we all clearly have a soul blockage that is happening. There's some major blockage.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is it's profound, and it's godly. It's really great work that you're doing. What's the next step? Where do you go from here? How do you scale this? Because you are the expert.
Thank you. You mentioned like CEOs and leaders. I would love to work with even more leaders and bring attention to conscious leadership.
Hold on.
Yes.
What is conscious leadership?
Oh gosh, it's presence. It's more than just living the defaults that we've been, programmed of hustle, grind.
Matrix.
It's like, correct.
Yeah.
Like, take a moment to pause and actually be with that person, connect with that person, align with what the solution is. Stop the blaming and the finger pointing, and let's work together.
It's
But
more of a certain leadership style versus that accountable leadership style.
Right. And I would say just, again, it's going against the typical program. Yeah.
So when you're teaching people to go against the program, I mean, that's an uphill battle.
100%.
So what are some of the challenges that you might have in getting this message across?
Goodness.
What are some of not everything is rosy and sunshine. This is a tough business. This is tough to get launched, and you've done great, but I'm certain that you've had adversity and a lot to overcome.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, the mindset is, you work harder, you push harder, you grind harder, and you'll get more results. But it's not sustainable. When certain words, even languaging that people sales managers or leadership uses, they don't even realize how that's received, and the nervous systems, the toll it takes on people's nervous systems.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Now they're in survival mode. They're not connected.
Which
they're not performing.
It reeks to a prospective client. You can sniff
100%. It's
They're
energetically
desperate.
transferred.
Yes.
Right. And it's just, so again, they don't understand or many people, it's not the typical program to believe that slowing down a little bit helps you to speed up. When people took time to focus on themselves, their whole life, and to slow down and implement self-love, self-care, some other habits, their income increased because they show up differently.
Yeah.
And again, that's transmitted
Mindset.
to the clients. That's transmitted to everyone.
You talked about the light, right? When you say light, you don't just mean weight. There's an
Correct.
aura that
And
comes.
light.
There's a
Oh, that
light.
too.
There's an aura that kind of comes.
Absolutely.
Like when Brian comes into a room, he's got that light,
Yes.
right? Because people look at him and go, this guy just commands the room when he comes in, right? So there's a light. You have that light. So helping people to get that light, not only the lightness, but to get that aura, it transfers. You can feel it. It's
You can
magnetic.
feel it.
And you have to work on it. It's not something you're born with, I don't believe. There might be some people that are better at certain things, but it is something you work on. Something, as you brought up, Carolyn, you have to be present. You have to be self-aware. You have to do self-reflection. It is something you work on to keep that light burning bright.
Can I push back
Love
on
it.
that? I think we are born with it. And then I think the pile-on happens. The school system piles on.
Yes.
We got to get little Bobby to karate, but he also is in baseball, but he also is in dance, and he does 30 other things, and he's in piano, and it just buries on. And then we're on social media, we're scrolling. Well, I don't look like that. I'm not that good. I don't have abs like that. I mean, I do have abs like that, but other people don't have abs like that, and they probably feel horrible about it. But
I retract that. You're right. People are born with it. But back to dreaming, I don't know if people understand they have it in them.
Yeah, that's the
So
thing.
it's more
They've been
they're
disconnected for
unaware
it. We
they
all
have
had
it.
that as children, right? They become disconnected from it.
Yeah.
And I think it's also it's intentional.
So you're taking people on a journey back to their probably initial state. Like we go from, mom and dad to this infant, and a soul's placed in there, and like all the possibilities exist, and then there's just this
And all
beatdown
these
of decay.
programs come in,
Yeah.
right? So school, society, parents,
Everything.
all
Social
these, and start
media.
forming those beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And when those beliefs are formed, like that basically influences the actions that we take.
Yeah.
Right? It's all based
So
on our beliefs.
I read this about there's three consciousness, right? There's your subconscious, and then what is it? Subconscious. What's conscious, subconscious, and then your superconscious. And your superconscious apparently is like stops when you're like 8, 9 years old. But it's like when you thought you were Wonder Woman when you were 5. And nobody could tell you otherwise, right? I was a race car driver. Brian was whatever, and you truly believe this. And then once you get to around 12 years old, you start to lose that. And the only time that you have that superconscious is when you're dreaming or in flow
Flow
state.
state.
See,
Yes.
these days, we would have gone from being Wonder Woman when you're 8 to wondering if they are a woman now.
Oh my gosh, we're getting canceled
So
again.
I'm just saying, it's a way different state now, and we do have to
I'm
go
not
back.
editing that out. So I'm just telling you. I mean, I can't say I disagree, but
Let's go back to grounding.
yeah, back to breaking
Back to
barriers. How about
grounding.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm rarely at a loss for words, but I'm having trouble segueing. So
I can segue.
how are you? I don't know where to go from here.
No, I mean, I think she has explained it to a degree that most people could understand, because I think once you get beyond that, it's a feeling. It's something that you have to sense, feel.
Yeah.
You've got to be a part of it. I don't know if you could really describe that and give it enough justice.
Can
to
you?
talk about the flow state?
Actually, let's go even back to feelings. I feel that so many people, they're like, oh, negative emotions, bad, 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 bad. And, you don't want to like repress them. But if you can look at them as like a friend, like, hey, I'm feeling this way for a reason. Like there's some type of belief in my subconscious that's not serving me. And there's there's something going on there. So really, if you let those surface and like approach them with curiosity, because like sometimes you'll say like, why am I feeling this way, and you'll like, oh my gosh, and you'll figure it out. But
So you
sometimes-
lean into the bad feelings so that you
where
can rectify them.
I approach it more. One of my mottos is feel better, achieve more. So if you're feeling bad, instead, like I say to like get to a better feeling place, but don't like push it away. Just like, what's coming up for me? Why am I feeling that way? And what can I do to feel better? So like, it may be journal. Like maybe you journal
That's
and
the
like,
curiosity.
oh my gosh, right? You approach it with curiosity instead of reinforcing it
Yeah.
over
so
and
you
over again.
you address it,
Yes.
but you're not giving it power over you.
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
And you're not
You're-
ignoring it.
No, right. You're addressing
Because
it.
that just
So you're
comes
not-
back tenfold
Right.
if you push
But
it
you're
up.
not
Right.
giving it power
Correct. You're
because
not
you
giving it power.
journaled or you went for that walk
Right.
and you sorted it out and you took it from up here to, I'm not giving it that power
Right.
to
Right,
make
right.
me feel that way.
Okay, so
100%.
the depression rate in the United States, and I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know it's really, really high. And I know it's really, really high amongst men. And I also know that the anxiety rate is extremely high. So my thought process is the past is depressing. The future is anxiety.
right.
And the best place to live is right in the present.
Yeah.
Okay? So, right. That's a gem.
Somebody
The
write
eternal
that
balance.
down for the
Freaking
audience.
gem.
for
That's a
me. Write
T-shirt,
that
but
down,
it did
make
true
sure
story, and
It
that's
is.
kind of like
It
how.
is.
And by the way, I have depression and anxiety, and the way that I have pushed that,
Yeah.
right, and put it in place is to be present, to live in the present.
Yes.
That's why he's bald.
So presently,
I learned how to deal with mine.
Wait till I
and
get my
that's
hair
why I
transplants. You'll be
still
sorry.
have- I mean, maybe not as thick as Rick's.
all
over
right,
there,
bragger. So I am curious, what would you say to folks, and men, if you're listening, it's okay to be depressed. And by the way, it's more powerful to do something about it
Absolutely.
than to push it away. So lean into that. So talk to folks that might have depression or anxiety of maybe a few steps that you would recommend that are without medication.
Sure.
Maybe even without having to go talk to somebody, because I think that
Okay.
that's where people get the hiccup. I don't want to be on the medicine.
Yeah.
I don't want to go talk to somebody, and I'm Mr. Tough Guy. I don't want, but yeah, you do. So what could they do in their own home, in their private situation,
Sure.
to remedy some of this?
Okay. I'm going to actually take that to the very first step of the vision
Let's
project,
go.
because I think part of the depression is you're out of alignment. You're out of alignment. You have a belief that doesn't serve you, and you're maybe thinking you should be someone else, or should be doing something. Should be like playing a different role. Should be doing something different. I'm too far behind. There's some belief there.
Yeah.
So instead of putting the energy on what's broken and what's not working, I would invite someone to just really take some time in stillness and what do I want? Like, what lights me up? Go for a walk. Take some time in stillness. Listen, do something to really connect with what that is.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, you're just detached. You're out of alignment.
We're not born depressed.
Right.
So to your point,
It's a learned state
It's a
almost.
learned state. Something
so
has
much
happened.
confusion
There's a
and
gap.
other-
There's a miss.
Yeah.
There's a
And I believe you could be manly and still deal with not feeling like you're wanted, maybe not feeling like you're appreciated, maybe not feeling like people understand your contributions and whatnot. You can be that manly guy you are and still learn how to address that depression, those symptoms
100%.
that drive you into a dark rabbit.
I'm not saying that you need to be a sobbing
What?
a sobbing
Sobbing what?
idiot, right? Like
Oh, okay.
we're not talking about you need to be at a stoplight, like in that state, whatever. But maybe you do. I don't know. But
I'm going to go back. I really think it all is just they're disconnected from who they truly
Yeah.
are. They're out of alignment. And it's just, again, what do you want in those big areas of life? Like, what do you want the relationships to look like? What do you want your health to look like? Like, what do you want? What do you want?
So do you think that a lot of people have those thoughts because they lack that clarity? They don't have that defined.
Correct. Yeah. They think they should be something else. That's why I'm like, erase all of that. Like, what do you truly want? And you're right. Not everyone has that clarity. And I was at a place where I didn't have the clarity, right? I'm like, I forgot how to dream. So that's when, the walks in nature, the taking time to be still, meditate, just even again, meditation could seem scary, but just take connect with your breath for a minute,
Sure.
Just be still. Again, I love inspirational books and podcasts because when you learn about other people's stories, it could ignite something inside of you going, oh man, I never thought about that. And it helps them connect to themselves, even though they're reading someone else's story.
100.
And Carolyn, what you're doing is truly inspirational.
It's great work.
Absolutely. And I know I've been blessed to be able to follow it because we both belong to a similar group years ago and started our journeys kind of together in a sense.
Was it the Rockettes?
No, it was, I could never get my leg up that high. I'm not
I could
sure
help
why,
you.
but
I could help you.
There's a lot of people that would like to help me.
I'm sure.
Split me like a turkey bone. But if you could leave somebody with two pieces of information, two things that they could start, not tomorrow, today, tonight, the minute they listen to this podcast, what would you tell them?
So I would say your emotions matter. So again, that is important. It's not something to repress, to pay attention to that and approach it with curiosity instead of trying to fix it.
That word curiosity is just
Curious?
so important.
Why,
it's so important in leadership,
that you
sales.
don't have to fix it.
Yeah.
That's really that's been so powerful. Just even journal, see what comes out, knowing that you don't have to fix it because eventually it's going to come to you.
See, when you approach it with curiosity,
Yeah.
you're not giving it power.
Correct. You're not giving
You're
it
not
power.
giving it power.
And you're not saying
It's-
this is who
You're
I am.
investigating.
It's like, where's this coming from? What's this about?
That's why I used to say be less when you see somebody with a disability, be less judgmental and be more curious.
Yeah.
Be more curious about people and less judgmental about people. And you would be amazed at how our world will open up.
I love it. So curiosity is an important thing, as is active listening. And by the way, if you put both of them together, you can do that's not just something you would do with somebody else. Like, I could sit here and actively listen to you, but I could also actively listen to my own feelings.
And your own
right?
your own thoughts. You feel the emotions, absolutely. And I really do love the feel better to achieve more. So if you aren't feeling great, then like add that self-love, add that self-compassion, like be compassionate to yourself. What could you do to help yourself feel better? Because when you feel better first, then you show up differently, your actions are different, and then you'll start moving towards your vision and your
Beautiful.
success.
Final question. Do you want to take it?
No,
or
go ahead.
Final question.
Knock it out.
It's obviously called the Breaking Barriers Podcast,
Yes.
powered by S.O.A.R.
Yes.
This man is S.O.A.R. right here. He's
Amazing.
soaring to new highs.
Love what you're doing.
So I
you.
want to know, what is the biggest barrier that you have broken, or what is the biggest barrier that you see out in your future that you're tackling right now? Let's go with that one instead.
Ooh.
Like, what's on the radar right now, and you're like, let's go. We're taking this
Okay.
thing down.
Okay, I love that question. So, as you know, you heard me speak, right? So I decided I wanted to get the Vision Out project out by being a speaker. I had zero speaking experience when before I created that speaking summit. So I'm like, I am just going to do it, and it came from inspiration. So I'm like, okay, so I get bigger stages. I want bigger impact and bigger influence. And I just, regardless of what's showing up, I'm like, I'm keeping my vision focused there. And now I'm presenting. I'm part of a summit in Europe, and like
go.
over 100,000
That's
people.
awesome.
Let's
and
go.
Let's go. And it's like, that's my focus. I don't know how it's going to show up. I know it will show up, and I keep showing up. And I know this message and this mission will just keep spreading.
That is a powerhouse. That is Carolyn Litton, and it is the Vision Project. This is Brian P. Swift. He is the founder of S.O.A.R. And I am John Morris, host of the Breaking Barriers podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to get in touch with Carolyn, how do they do that?
You can go to carolynlitton.com, or my website, vpmanifest.com, has all my contact information, my social media handles, and a list of all my programs. The 30-day transformational flow program, which is actually the exact habits and steps that I did that completely transformed my life.
Pause it, rewind it, write it down, get with it, people. Break barriers right now. You know what it is. Have a great day. Cheers.